Hello and welcome back to the Radio Times Premier League show. My name's James. I've been on the subs bench for a couple of weeks, but I'm back now with Ketch from Match of the Day magazine. Thanks for coming, man.
No problem.
We've got 4 games to live on TV this weekend to look at, plus a whole load of other business to deal with before the international break. So let's get going. The first match this Saturday is Leicester City versus Liverpool, kicking off live on Sky Sports at 12:30. So 3 wins from 3 from Liverpool, top of the league, but this one looks a little bit tricky, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've had a relatively easy start, Liverpool. West Ham, Crystal Palace, Brighton, you'd expect them to win those. They have done. They haven't conceded a goal. I think that's been the story so far for Liverpool. Their attack was so great last season. The defence now has gone up to that level thanks to Virgil van Dijk. I think he's the best defender in the league. They've kept 11 clean sheets in the 18 games he's played. And that's really been the difference. Clean sheets breeds confidence. They haven't really got up to top gear. So this is going to be a nice little test for them, really, really interesting game to kick the weekend off.
I know I mentioned the international break at the start. We've just had the news about Jamie Vardy, who's basically calling time on his England career. He's not actually set to play this weekend, is he, either?
No.
So I mean, it'd be quite interesting to see what Leicester can bring in his absence almost.
Well, Vardy's he's semi-retired. He's asked not to be picked. If there's an injury crisis, I think he would make himself available. He's 31 now, so he's thinking about the future. He wasn't starting the games in the World Cup, so he's thinking, do I need to be there on the bench where I could be spending more time with my family and giving everything to Leicester? So I think that's where he's coming from. So Iheanacho will play, and he started the last game. They won, so it's an opportunity for him he cost a lot of money last year, Iheanacho. It's an opportunity for him to get in there, get some confidence, get some goals. But Leicester, they will miss Vardy. Who wouldn't? He's a great striker.
So they're at home. What's your prediction? Can you see anybody stopping Liverpool at this stage?
I think if Vardy was playing, different story. But I think Liverpool, if they want to show they're serious, keep another clean sheet, maybe win by 2 goals. So I do fancy Liverpool still to carry on and show City they mean business.
Nice. Yeah, talking of City, next up we've got Man City versus Newcastle United, kicking off at 5:30 p.m. on BT Sport. So actually it's slightly weird. We've got very used to these clubs because all of their previous matches have also been picked for live TV. So I feel like I'm sort of slightly repeating myself here. But so City are back after dropping points against Wolves. Any need to panic at this point?
Yeah, absolute crisis. They've lost. There's the first time they haven't won away since February. So panic stations at City, but it's okay because Aguero's here. He has an unbelievable record against Newcastle. He scored 14 goals in 12 games, so he's bang on to start. Man City might even do what they did against Huddersfield, where they played Jesus and Aguero up front. Because Newcastle are probably going to go defensively. That's what they did last week.
Yeah, what was it, like 19% possession or something like that against Chelsea? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what it was.
But I mean, I think they've got to do what Wolves did. Wolves were defensive. I think the only difference was Newcastle were defensive against Chelsea, but Wolves had better quality in the midfield. They had Moutinho and Neves. Newcastle had Key in the army. So. And Wolves spent a lot of money. Newcastle didn't spend a lot of money, and Newcastle did nearly get a point against Chelsea. Wolves got a point with a handball goal, basically. So I think a bit critical on Newcastle received quite a bit of criticism. They've got to do what they can to try and stop City. It's not an easy job. So Aguero is going to be key. I can see a lot of people put him in as their captain in the fantasy teams. I probably will as well. But Newcastle, as ever, it's just a fantastic drama unfolding, as ever. And Newcastle fans, I think, are used to it. Ashley's playing his usual dangerous game. I think Benitez to sign, you have to pay Ashley the remainder of his contract. So it's all nicely hung in the balance. In the meantime, there's been training ground bust-ups at Newcastle. Rumours of Lascelles and Ritchie, 2 big vocal players in the dressing room, not too happy about the 3 at the back system. Lascelles thought it was a bit too negative. Ritchie, wasn't happy that Lascelles had been vocal about it. So lots going on at Newcastle. It should be a fantastic game. Maybe Rafa will surprise us and go a bit more attacking. I don't think he will. I think you'll go with 3 at the back again. And Newcastle, they've had a really tough start of the season. Tottenham, Cardiff, which they should have got 3 points out. They didn't. Then Chelsea, they've got City, and then Arsenal. So there's not a lot for them to go on. So the confidence is low. if they can get a point in this game, it would be massive. Stranger things have happened, though.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's explained why they've picked all of those matches for TV, because they're quite interesting at the moment. So, right, let's move on quickly to Sunday. We've got, first up is Cardiff City versus Arsenal, live on Sky Sports from 1:30 p.m. Cardiff have yet to score this season, but I'm sensing that if they are going to at least get a goal, let alone we'll talk about points later, that they could come against this Arsenal side at this point.
No goals but 2 points, so I think they'd be pretty happy with that, to be honest. Again, they're ones where I think that the mood has been summed up by the manager, Neil Warnock, who's a bit of a character. He's just been saying, let's enjoy it. You know, he kind of knows he shouldn't be here. He's in the Premier League, so his message in his press conference this week has been, let's enjoy it. They've got this game, then they play Chelsea. They play City, Chelsea and Tottenham, so they're not expected to get points from this game and the next three. They're expected to get points against Huddersfield and Newcastle, which they have done. So they've just got to go for it. They're at home. There'll be a full house. They've got quite an exciting young player, Josh Murphy, who I like, who played against his twin last week. Jacob came on for Newcastle, so that must have been a bit strange for him. I think Josh looks like the better twin, to be honest. He's starting more of his games.
I'm sorry, I don't know the teams. They're not identical.
They're identical twins.
They are, right, okay.
So they played against each other. They were even on the same side of the pitch, marking each other for the latter part of the game, which was very strange. But Josh looks exciting. He's quick, he's young, he's English. He likes to get the ball, knock it past his marker, and get some crosses into the box. He just needs someone to score the goals. They don't have that at the minute. So Murphy, key player for them. Arsenal, maybe Torreira will get his first start. He's looked very, very capable. They spent a lot of money on him. Uruguayan, did well in the World Cup. He's probably going to come into midfield, probably at the expense of the young lad, Matteo Guendouzi, the French guy, who, a real shame, he's a very exciting young player. He's got big hair, he's got a massive engine, he's just up and down the pitch. He makes a lot of mistakes and it doesn't seem to bother him. He just keeps coming back for more and trying expansive passes. But I think it's time for him to have a little break now, and Torreira to come in and establish a partnership with Xhaka in the centre of midfield, who'll do the tackling, the ball winning, give it to Torreira, and expect to see lots of incisive passing, maybe some snapshots from outside the box. But he looks like an exciting player. Arsenal have been great to watch. They're scoring goals and conceding goals.
Like, I mean, you know, we are still very at this early stage. They did get their first win. You know, I mean, have you had a chance to get a sense of what Emery's trying to do at this point? Sort of thing? I
think so. I don't think you'll know what we're dealing with until like November, December time. They're surging for momentum. He wants him to be quite, attacking. He's sending both fullbacks up and leaving the two defenders quite exposed. I think he's still maybe trying to work out his team as well. There's possibly a shout for Lacazette and Aubameyang to be involved in the same starting lineup. At the minute, Aubameyang's been getting the nod. Maybe. With them playing Cardiff, he might go for it. But you can tell he's trying to establish a newer system at Arsenal, so it's going to take time. They got their first win under the belt. I expect them to get their second win under the belt in this game.
Very good. And finally, we have got Watford versus Tottenham on Sky Sports from 4 o'clock. This looks like a cracking finish to the weekend.
Yeah.
I think, both sides unbeaten. It's both on 9 points, and you wouldn't have thought about that from Watford necessarily, but no. Great games to finish with.
Yeah, both had perfect starts. Roberto Pereira has been awarded the Match of the Day magazine's Player of the Month.
Very good.
So literally, as I speak, our writer Lee is at the training ground presenting Roberto with his award, and he deserves it. He scored 3 goals in 3 games. 3 winnable games, I think, for Watford. They've beaten Brighton, Burnley and Crystal Palace. They've lost their best player, Richarlison, and haven't missed him. So there's a bit of money in the bank there. And they're playing with 2 up front, which you don't see very much anymore. They've got Deeney and Gray, who's a good player, both of whom have scored. So it's good times at Watford. This is their first real test. This is where we'll really work out what Watford are about and if there's anything serious happening there this season. Tottenham come into here unbeaten with a lot of confidence, with Kane scoring. They haven't signed any players, but the old cliche, Lucas Moura, he's like a new signing. He was bought in January, and I think it took him a few months to get it up to speed, and he's had a full pre-season, and all of a sudden they've got this really dangerous midfielder who scored 2 goals against Man United. He's got a real quick turn of pace, and Tottenham have a great record at Watford. They haven't lost to Watford in 12 league games, haven't lost since 1987. So big test for Watford, but someone's record's got to go, and I'm looking forward to seeing whose that might be.
Yeah, there was so much talk about that Spurs win over United, because it sort of came out of the blue in that second half, sort of thing. Yeah. But was that a sort of a case of like, oh right, okay, we better take very close eye on what Spurs are doing this season, or is it still sort of like you're not sure quite how far they're going?
Well, I think Spurs, we know exactly what Spurs are about because it's the same team as last season. It was more of an indictment on Man United had a good first half and then it fell to pieces quite quickly afterwards. But to get Kane up and running early on is a big deal. To have, you know, basically a full strength team. Harry Winks is now back for them as backup in midfield. Really exciting young English player. Son is at the Asia Games. They got to the final, so but they haven't really missed him. No. The goals are still flowing. So Tottenham, you know, if they can keep pace with Liverpool and Man City, it'd be great to have a 3-horse race for the title.
What's your prediction for this one? Just to
I think Spurs. I think maybe 3-1 to Spurs. Spurs by a couple of goals, but Watford should, you know, go out there and go for it. They've had a great start, so hopefully an exciting game with goals. Yeah,
well, thanks very much for the previews. Is there what else you want to tell us just before the international break? I guess you mentioned the fantasy football. How's it getting on?
Not bad, not bad. Join our league if you want to join our league. If you buy our magazine this week, we've printed our league code, so feel free to come in and try and beat our scores. It's going okay, but like everyone, I had Richarlison. I had Yedlin who scored an own goal. I had Diop who scored an own goal, but yeah, I had Aguero, so it's going okay. We've also, if you're a nostalgic football fan, we've got some Roy of the Rovers news in this week's match of the day. We're going to stop printing their cartoons. We've been printing little strips, and we're going to go and do some full page versions of it. And we've also reviewed Predators, so the 25 years of the Adidas Predator is in there, and there's a review of the Pro Evolution Soccer video game, so all in there.
And yes, if you want to find out about all the other fixtures that are happening this weekend, you can go on radiotimes.com. We've got a full list of all the fixtures, all the live TV games, and how to watch it on Sky, BT, get all the best deals, all of that sort of stuff. Thanks for coming in. We've probably got a bit of a break for this before we for England before we come back to the Premier League. But thanks for tuning in, and we will see you again very soon.